Hello, friends and fellow adventurers. We are Rolling Solo RPG, and today we are going to be playing Session 22 of Zargo's Tale. Welcome, 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 one and all. Thank you for joining me again here today. Now, as always, let's get into it. Let's roll some dice and let's figure some things out to continue this story for Zargo. Last time we stopped as our heroes off to this side over here, which you can just barely see over the top of Varger's head. Our heroes are climbing the staircase up to the upper level of these offices up here on top inside our large warehouse. After defeating and slaughtering, which Zargo is going to have to pay for. My bad GMing skills made her guard duties very unfulfilled. Either way, we rejoin our heroes as they ascend the stairs to check out these offices up here. So, Zargo leading the way. She makes her way up to the first door, followed by her two allies. They poke their head in just a little bit. They see this office is probably only lit by maybe one candle sitting on one of these desks over here. I know it's hard to see for you. I can't pull this over any further, and I have a lot of my screen taken up with other crap. But trust me, there's not much going on in here. I do, however, have a fate chart question, though, for this room, just in case. I'm thinking it's nearly impossible odds. And also, you know what, let's... you know me, once I get rolling, I realize that I need to do something else, and I stop rolling. Momentum-wise, pace of the game, not dice, because I haven't even started yet. But I am going to go back to doing scenes more so, and as far as the fate chart with the chaos factor going up and down, I am going to go up and down, but I'm only going to go down to a 4 and up to a 6. I saw that in one of the variations in the Mythic GM book, and I was like, you know what, that keeps it simple, and it can still go up and down without me just keeping it static at 5. So I like that, and I'm going to begin doing that. All right, so I am in the process of doing some changing up of my layout a little bit, and which browser I use, because apparently apparently Chrome works a little bit better with Roll20 than Firefox does. Anyway, regardless, I have the adventure list popping up here on the same screen as our character sheets, but that's fine. It gets the job done. But yes, to the scene. We are just going to start making a scene. I'm just going to overwrite whatever's here right now, and we're going to say searching the offices. Searching offices. Doesn't matter what the scene number is, but our chaos factor is currently 5, but we are going to roll to see if that changes. Or wait, no, that's not what we roll for. We roll to see if the scene is altered or interrupted anyway. And I'm going to say we were very much in control of the last session, the last scene. I know I didn't have it set up as a scene, but we're going to pretend that it was. And our just general slaughtering of these poor workers. I'm going to say, yes, we were in control, meaning, well, according to the Mythic book, if our heroes were in control, then the chaos factor goes down, which makes it less likely for random things to happen. Honestly, in my opinion, I feel like that's counterproductive. If you were in control, then that means you need to kind of like keep the balance going and make it more likely for chaos to happen. Otherwise, you're just going to snowball in one direction. If you make it more chance of chaos to happen and you keep raising it when you're out of control, it just keeps getting more out of control. I don't know how that's I don't know, something's just not clicking in my head as to why they do it the opposite. Doesn't make sense to me. So we're going to do it my way. So our players were very much in control, so the chaos factor is going to go up, meaning there is more chance for something crazy to go on because they were in control of the last session. So we are going to be at a 6 currently. Awesome. So my question that got derailed is going to be, is the item that Zargo is looking for this entire time, is that one little item in this office room, this first door here that they're checking? This first door right here that they're checking is that navigational tool that was stolen from the museum in this office. Nearly impossible. Chaos factor 6. 59, nearly impossible. That is a no. It is not in here. I didn't think so, but I just needed something for this room instead of just saying, oh, they poke their head in, nothing, and they move on. So, but they do in fact poke their head in and see nothing, and they move on. They move on down the row up to the next door. Let's see, I gotta make sure you guys can see what's right, because I have a little bit more going on my screen than on yours, and I can only stretch it so far. So, our heroes poke their head in. Zargo pokes her head in, and she sees in front of her a rat folk man tied to a chair, and behind the rat folk man is the overseer that we saw earlier that was standing out here on the balcony commanding the other workers to move in and investigate, which ended up all dying. And then we saw her run into a room up here, and this was the room she ran into. And the reason for this is because she thinks that our heroes here are here on behalf of the Laughing Rats, I believe was their name, which is who this rat folk man is from. He is the leader of the Laughing Rats, and he was kidnapped by the cult, and they sent a message to the other members of that gang telling them that if they did not quit encroaching on on the cult's territory, that they would kill this man and send them back his tail, because apparently he has a very distinctive tail. In my mind, I'm seeing he has kind of like tattoos on his tail and maybe a couple piercings along the tip. You know, very scoundrel-like, and especially for a rat folk, I feel like that's pretty cool. Like a gang member of a rat folk gang would definitely have tattoos on their tail and stuff. I think that's pretty interesting. So that's what we are applying to him. And Zargo pokes her head in. She sees this, and the woman, the overseer, standing behind the ratfolk man, has a knife up against his throat, and she says, I know why you're here. You're here to get him back. We sent message to you all. If you didn't back off, we would kill him. And if you take another step closer, and as she's kind of saying that, our other two heroes step in too, and she's like, stop, stay back. I'm telling you, I will end him right here. We had a deal. We sent word, and we were very clear with our stipulations, you know. And the rat folk man is just kind of sitting there with his teeth bared. You can see the grimace on his face. I'm just kind of going with the picture that I pulled out of the library of tokens over on the side. But we're going to go with it. So he has an eye patch on, which is funny because Vega also has an eye patch. There's a lot of eye patches going on here for not a pirate setting. He has one golden tooth that's kind of shimmering right there. He has his hood's probably pulled down, but he has a nice hooded leather armor on. And he's just kind of like grimacing as this knife is being pressed up against his little hairy throat. Now, Miss Finch at the bar, the Skull, she asked us to return her nephew, because his name is Rockley, and he is Finch's nephew, and she wants him returned. I can't remember if she said that there would be a reward or not, but I'm assuming we'll either at least be in good graces with her and the gang themselves, which could be very beneficial for us. Not sure how, but I mean, how would that not be beneficial, right? So our heroes are going to attempt to at least talk to this lady, and I'm thinking that if they are unable to use diplomacy or maybe intimidation, however they choose to go about this, if they are unable to talk her out of killing this man. I'm thinking that Brack is going to have one chance to throw his star knife and kind of save the day kind of thing. So let's play this out. I'm going to give all three of them a chance. Let me correct that. I'm going to give Zargo and Vega a chance to. I'm pretty sure Zargo's going to try to intimidate because that's just her strong skill, and just to kind of power game that a little bit, I'm going to do that. Yes, her intimidation is a 6. It's not too bad. And for Vega, I don't think she has much going on. Diplomacy is 5. That's actually not too bad. I think she might use diplomacy. And then if both of them fail, then I will give Brack a chance to throw his star knife and maybe save the day in that regard. Okay, so we're going to start with Zargo. Zargo is going to attempt to intimidate this lady. She's... All right, look, we've had a long day, and I know you may not have had a great view, but I slaughtered... Zargo's just really... She's trying to intimidate, so she kind of knows. Deep inside, Zargo knows that what she did was kind of bad, especially because she likes being a guard, and I don't know. I don't know how this slipped her mind, because the GM sucks, maybe? But, Zargo's going to use this in her intimidation. I know you saw me slaughter those workers out there, and if you didn't, I'm sure you're going to have a hell of fun mopping up all that blood and body parts. So unless you want to be at the top of that pile, then you will let him go, and we will leave here with him. I don't think she's going to let on the fact that that's not actually why they're here, because it's actually kind of keeps their cover as guards while still giving them a reason to be here. So she is going to do her intimidation check, which is a 6. And what is... I need to figure out the will DC of this nice halfling troublemaker here. Her will's a 7, so it's going to be a 17. I'm going to make it a 17. An 8. That is going to be a failure. That's only going to be a... what was that? A 14. The woman with the knife to the rat folk's neck is just like, I know, I saw you out there. It was a bloodbath, and I will not be on top of that pile because I will be leaving here with this rat folk's blood on my hands, and I will match it with your blood on my hands too. Vega is going to use that chance. There's a lot of aggression going on. Vega is going to try to counter this aggression with a little bit of diplomacy. So she kind of cuts the woman off as she's speaking. Look, lady, I know you have a job here. And from what I can tell, you are, an overseer of this warehouse here. You seem to be of great importance. There's no reason that this should end in any more bloodshed. We are not here to actually hurt you. We were attacked by your workers, and we only defended ourselves against them. Please, back off now. There are 3 of us and only 1 of you. Even if you kill this man, you will be easily overpowered and killed yourself. Is that gonna work? Alright, that's diplomacy, and it's still a DC 17. I don't think I'm gonna alter that at all. With only a +5 and the DC... Oh my gosh, dice hate me. I almost never succeed at rolls. Okay, but that's fine, because that means we get to do the fun action of rolling for Brack to try to save the day. Brack in the middle, he's been quiet and silent this whole time. He's had his hand on his hip where he keeps his star knife, almost like a western at high noon getting ready to draw. His hands are kind of twitching just beside it, waiting, because he knows in his mind what he is going to do. And as he can see the expression of the woman's face not accepting the diplomacy role of Vega, Brack instantly, and without even missing a heartbeat, grabs the star knife, and without even lifting it above his hip, he, one quick motion, throws, and he is going to have to beat her AC with a attack roll. That's how I'm going to play this one. So her AC is a 16. Wow, that's actually easier than any of the other ones. So this might actually work because Brack has a +9 with his star knife. Yes, he does. Now, I'm not going to play this as it's going to outright kill her. Maybe I'll roll damage if it hits. But if it hits is the question. So let's roll it. With a +9, has to beat a 16. Brack throws the star knife across the room with a natural 20. Yes, Brack. I tell you what, Brack rolls really good. I really like these dice. If I could give these dice a golden star, I would. Coming in again to save the day, Brack throws a star knife, and it hits its target with extreme precision. It flies by the rat folk's head, sitting in the chair, and it... Let's see, where does it hit? Nah, I'm not gonna roll my hit location dice because most likely it'll hit like the leg or something. You know, I will roll it. If it comes up a leg, we will just say it's an arm. Left arm, awesome, perfect. And I'm gonna say the left arm was the arm that was holding the knife up to the rat folk's throat. So Brack's star knife flies through the air with precision, stabbing directly into the arm of the woman, knocking it perfectly out of position and making her stumble back just ever so slightly. And with that, I'm saying we're going to start initiative real quick. Oh, you guys can't really see her. There we go. Sorry about that. I don't know how long you haven't been able to see. Ignore what's going on in the right side of the room there. But yeah, this is as high up as I can put it anyway because of how my crap is stacked on the screen. So I apologize for that. But there is a wall directly behind her, so you're really not missing much. So we're going to begin initiative, and I'm just going to put all of our heroes ahead of her, which is actually how it's already set up. So, all right, round 1. Brack went. He threw his star knife. He does have 2 altogether. So Brack's first action, he's going to re-equip his star knife, and he is going to run up. He has an extreme speed, and I think he's going to run up. He's going to hop up onto the table with an extra 10 feet of movement. Boom, and then he's going to 15-foot step to the other side of the table and keep just running down. As he's running, he's knocking plates and silverware and cups off the table as he's sprinting towards this woman, and he does a fancy jumping front flip and lands on the ground next to her. With his first movement action and his second action, he is going to strike at her. First off, I need to do the damage from his first attack. Actually, that hit, and it critted, so I need to remember that. Maybe he already killed her, and he didn't need to do a fancy move. Alright, so 1d4 plus 4, because it's finesse. And then also, he threw it, so he gets to add plus 2 because of his flying blade ability. So 1d4. I will roll the triangle d4, even though I hate it. 1d4, 2. That's 2 base damage, plus 4 is going to be 6. Plus 2 more is going to be 8. Doubled is 16. Oh, he almost one-shot her. So minus 16. Or wait, no, I don't double the plus 2. So it's 2 plus the 4, which is 6, doubled is 12, and then add 2, so it's only minus 14. I know you guys don't care, but I care. I want to make sure I get that right. Leaving her with only 4 hit points. As she stumbled back, she holds her arm, and she just kind of like pries the star knife out and drops it on the floor below her. As that was happening, Brack ran across the table, did his front flip, landed next to her, and struck at her once again. With a 16, that is going to be a hit, almost a crit. 1 point away from critting, which is going to be another d4 plus 4. I think he's going to kill. Yep, that's it right there. Boom! And before the other 2 allies even had time to think and react to what was happening, Brack took control of this situation, and he saved the hostage, and he killed the halfling woman behind the little rat folk man. So she lies dead on the ground now as Brack stands over her. He bends down and picks up his star knife off the ground, and he wipes the blood off on her clothing, and he sheathes it once again on his hip. That is how it is done. He has a right to be a little cocky after that. That was pretty fucking badass. All right, so Zargo and Vega are just kind of like standing there. They look at each other and they look back at Brack, and I think Zargo's like, "Oh, good job, Brack. That was rather amazing, honestly. I wasn't sure what was gonna happen. I thought she was gonna kill the poor guy, but good job, Brack. Rockley is the name, right? Miss Finch said that you would be here. Well, actually, she didn't say that you would be here, but she did let us know that you were missing and you were kidnapped by this cult, apparently. And she told us the reasons and all that. But we were not expecting to see you here. I'm glad we could show up." And Zargo kind of walks behind him and cuts his bonds, and he kind of like rubs his wrists as he kind of bounces up to his feet. He pulls his tail around to him and he kind of like starts checking it.
Yes, they were going to cut my tail. And send it to my men to show them what they had done and that my men should back off. Well, I'll show you to back off.
And he kind of like jumps on the overseer there and just kind of like scratches at her real quick.
Good job, Lizard Man. I was hoping I could take care of that myself, but I appreciate that you were able to do it. Now, I reckon that means I'm in your debt. Don't be expecting any crazy favors, but also don't think that I will ever forget that this happened. And if you will please excuse me, I will gather my things.
And I'm thinking that his belongings are kind of down here in the corner, leaned up against like the wall or something. They kind of like disarmed him as they came in here and tied him up and everything. So he runs and he gathers his things.
I will tell Finch what you did here. And again, this will not be forgotten. I do owe you a debt. But don't think that you can take advantage of that. I will let the other laughing rats know that you are not to be messed with. And if they ever see you in trouble, they will be there to aid you. Thank you again.
And he takes off out the door, and we see him run down the stairs and out. And now we sit in this room. Zargo's kind of speaks up. "All right, well, that happened, I guess. But we still have a Amari to find, and there's only one door left. Let's pretend like we can't see directly over here in this office, and let's go check out that last door." I really got off on my voice on that one, but I was getting very sidetracked. And so our heroes run up to the next door. It, I'm going to say, is almost certainly locked. They check the door. Is it locked? I'm going to say it's very likely, on a chaos factor 6. Is this door locked? Very likely a 26 is a yes. Not an extreme yes, but it is a yes. So Zargo walks up and begins to try to open the door, and of course it is locked. She can't open it. Alright, so whoever's on the inside definitely hears this, and most likely heard the ruckus going on beside them. So what I'm thinking, because I know who's in here, and well, you guys know who's in here too, because our random event led to Amari being turned into a vampire by this, vampire in this office here. So, that being said, I'm thinking that they heard what was going on in the next room, and then they heard our heroes kind of like trying to open the door. The vampire, at least in their stat block, has the ability to turn into like a mist, like a really dark black mist, basically. And they can do this at will, and they can also do it like if they get brought to 0 HP. The vampire's actually really hard to kill, so whenever we get to trying to kill one, I'm gonna have to look up and make sure I do that kind of correctly. Regardless, I'm thinking as Zargo is kind of like banging on the door, not banging on, she's not like knocking, hey, let me in. As she's like fiddling with the door, there we go. She's making a little bit of noise, and so our enemies on the inside hear this, and Vega's kind of like looking down at the lock and the handle as she's messing with it. And as she's doing so, she sees this black smoke just starting to pour out from underneath the door as our vampire is turning into his mist form or her mist form. I don't know if it's a boy or girl yet. We'll figure that out because right now our vampire is not going to waste his precious time. Ah, ha, ha. I am Count Chocula. They are not going to waste their precious time and resources on these meaningless gang members because they probably also just assume that it's the gang members coming in to save their leader there. So Zargo just sees this black mist kind of forming underneath her feet, and it just kind of like wisps past all three of them, and it kind of like makes its way through the slats of the railing up here on the upper deck of the thing, and they watch it. This smoke is sentient. It can't just be like a fire on the other side of the door. It's some form of being, and they watch it as it mists its way into this doorway down here and out of their sight. But for us, he is, or she, I keep saying he, just because it kind of looks like a male there in the picture. Regardless, they make their way down into the sewers and out of the scene. And me saying the word scene makes me realize that I never tested the scene. That's how bad I am at doing my GM job. I apologize to you, but really I'm also just doing myself a disservice by doing the game wrong, but I'm having fun. So let's get back to what we are doing. I will try to remember to roll the expected scene. Next scene. This scene, however, Zargo watched the smoke. All three of them watched the smoke fly down into that room down below them and out of sight. But behind Zargo, the door has opened. She turned around to notice, the door's opened. Well, I reckon let's get in here. Let's see whatever that being was running away from. They don't know that Amari's in here yet, but as soon as they enter the room, they see Amari. All right, what is he doing? What is Amari doing right now? He just got turned. I'm thinking that it's a bit of a process, but they were in there a little. We don't know how long that it has been since they were bitten, or however it is that he is being turned. But I'm thinking that he still looks like himself, aside from the puncture wounds on the side of his neck. But inside of him is probably a battleground of the new molecules beginning to take over inside his body. So on the surface, it kind of looks calm, but something is stirring inside of him. Now, Amari has seen Vega, at least. I don't know if he's seen Zargo or not. I don't think Amari has ever seen Zargo, but he has definitely seen Vega. So I'm thinking he says this.
Ha! Well, look at you. I'm going to do a higher pitched voice because he is a gnome, and gnomes apparently have higher pitched voices. So it is you, Vega, right? The one who tried leading me out of the bar that night. But I tricked you and I got away. And you must be the one who was with her when you raided my office, which I was unfortunately unable to go back to because of the mess you left in there. Ooh, and who's this? Brackarisk Nealon, huh?
Because now, a few episodes ago, we rolled that Zargo and Vega both recognized Brack as being like somebody of note, like here within the city at least. So him having his money and his wealth and his power kind of has made him a known figure in these parts. Now, our heroes haven't talked about this amongst themselves, but it's a good point to bring up for this because he is known, and just by seeing his face, Amari instantly recognizes Brackarisk Neelan, the rich, fancy entrepreneur who lives in the upper class district. But yes, Brackarisk Neelan. And I'm thinking Amari kind of like winces a little bit as like the turmoil inside of him is just kind of messing with his psyche a little bit. He turns back to them.
Let me guess. You think you're here because you're going to, what? Stop me? No, you're not going to stop me. I'm going to walk out that door, and you can either stay alive or you can be lifeless lumps on the floor. That is up to you.
Zargo speaks up.
No, we are not going anywhere. You are going to be taken into custody, and we are going to question you, and you are going to be tried for your crimes.
Brack interjects.
No, you are going to die for what you did to Jordan.
And he begins to run. I'm not even going to roll for anything. We're going to start initiative right now. Yeah, we're going to start initiative right now. And Amari just kind of laughs.
What I did to Jordan? You don't even know the half of it. You know that baby that was in her? We cut it out before we killed her.
You monster! As Brack leaps over this table, I'm going to get him to on top of just before he leaps over the table. And let's get some initiative here going